Hello, guys.
This is seniors.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, seniors? What's crack-a-lackin'?
Crack-a-lackin'. Today we're talking about persuasion techniques, okay, that can be used in either in ads or we're specifically talking about politics, but lots of different persuasion techniques they use to persuade people to do things or convince people.
Yeah. How'd you persuade me to marry you?
That was just my good looks. I didn't have to do anything. All right. So let's start off with bandwagon, okay? Bandwagon is a very famous one, and this is a statement that suggests everyone is doing it, so you should too. It's kind of like that.
Oh, that's your photo. I thought that was like
pressure.
an ad that popped up. I was like, when did you start getting ads on this thing?
No, my photos are bad. Yeah. So like, hey, everyone's doing this. You should do it too.
Like
so,
when celebrities do it, or is that something different?
or like, well, it'll be like get like this ad, get on board. That's one. Obviously, there's one Kobe.
But
Bryant.
it's not like if Kobe. I was gonna say, is it like Kobe Bryant being like, got milk?
No, that'd be celebrity endorsement, but it's similar to being like, get on board. Right? Everyone else is doing this, you should do it too. We're the sponsor of the NFL. All the NFL players use us. You should do it too. We are the blah blah blah. Right?
Yeah, I mean, who
so
doesn't
being
want
in a
to?
group, feeling secure because everyone else is doing it, kind of being in that culture.
For sure.
Yeah. So that's a bandwagon. Yeah.
You know, that's how I felt about overalls. I always thought they were really stupid, but then everyone started doing it, and now I like them. But
Everyone
I don't.
started doing overalls again.
Yeah, it's very in. Actually, it's probably going out. I'm always at the end of the trend.
Oh.
But like bicycle shorts, never gonna be into
I
that.
saw someone on Facebook today that actually had overalls on. I was like,
No,
oh.
it's very in right now. But now it's going out though.
Oh, really?
I'm at the end of it.
Loaded language is the next one, and these are words that make you feel strongly about something or someone else. A lot of times these loaded language don't always like apply to it. So they might be like safe, caring, qualified.
Oh. I don't understand.
Strong. What? It's when you use a word and you just like throw it down there for your ads.
Smart.
Convincing people. Yeah. Trying to think of a good
I know,
example.
I'm trying to think
What's
of
Obama?
anything.
What was Obama's? Obama's was
Something forward.
forward. His was just forward, right?
Yeah.
That was his loaded language. He said the word forward.
No, well, Trump's is, but that it's not. His is a bunch. Make
Make
America great again.
Yeah,
That's
a
not
lot, yeah.
loaded language.
But anyways, basically using words that make you feel strongly about something, right? This get emotion out. So that's loaded language.
Michelle Obama's was rise up.
That'd be
Is it
kinda
two
similar.
words? That
Next one is testimonial, and this is like when there's one famous person or famous people that's like, hey, I do it, you should do it too. And sometimes it'll be just a random person that'll be like, hey, look, I lost 20 pounds in 2 weeks. Or it'll be someone famous that'll be doing something, and it'll be like, oh,
you're
this
using
person does it.
examples that are not always like. An example of this is going to be Instagram influencers. All of us follow these Instagram influencers like, hey guys, everyone was asking me about my skin routine. Swipe up to get $10 off.
I'm sure they all.
I'm not kidding. It's all, hey guys. You don't think they are?
Well, no, I'm saying, I'm like imagining Charlie swiping up on that. I just can't imagine it.
I'm imagining Yazar being like, oh, that's cute. Actually, Yazar and Pardeen did do their eyebrows, so who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
All right, so this is another way to
Sorry guys, didn't mean to
basically
play
using
out.
famous people or testimonials to be like, hey, you should do this too. Once again, the next one is name calling. Okay, and this goal to form a negative.
Silly
this is
Whopper,
negative,
that's
okay?
a Big Mac.
Yeah, and this is when you basically disparage the other group, disparage. You make them sound bad. You attack them. You go at them, right?
Is it like being canceled?
What?
Like cancel culture?
No, you just name call the other time. So just watch politics, right? Trump or Biden, they name call each other all the time. They throw names at each other like crazy. It doesn't take, I think I was reading something about how fast they said it took like 3 weeks for Trump to come up with a name to call someone on average. So if they run against him, he came up with a name to call them.
What's Biden's?
I forget, but he calls them lots of different names. But anyways, for example, this is an old ad, but for Mitt Romney called the Wimp Factor. Is he just too insecure to be president? And then, this Big Mac, it's a Burger King commercial, and they're saying that, right, the Whopper is way bigger than the Big Mac, which is why I can't fit in a Big Mac's box.
Oh,
So
I
they're
definitely thought that was...
They're making fun of McDonald's, saying, our Whopper is way bigger. Yeah. Anyway, so name calling. Basically, you're
That's
attacking
funny.
someone else, making fun of it.
Oh, that's a funny ad.
Next one is plain folks. Plain folks. And this is when you pretend like, hey, this person is just like you. Okay, this one's trustworthy, just like you. Maybe it'll be something like, Abraham Lincoln had his famous one that he was born in a log cabin, right? That he was just an average guy. He got up there, and now you should vote for him too. No one wants to sound like, Trump doesn't go out there and say, well, I was born a millionaire, and therefore you should vote for me because I was born rich and wealthy. No, he says, I had to work for everything, right? This idea of plain folk, that everyone needs to be just like you. They need to work hard. They've achieved. They're from where you're at. They know what you've gone through. So that's plain folks language.
Is it because they want it to make you feel like it's possible to get to where they are at?
Well, and feel like that person knows you, and that person has been where you are.
Yeah.
That person understands you. So yeah, some of that. And right, everyone likes the idea of a dream, right? That's like accomplish the American dream and work itself up. Anyways, all right. Next one is glittering generalities, okay? And this is using vague, sweeping statements that appeal to voters emotionally, but don't actually say anything specific, okay? So you say things that just appeal, but don't do anything specific. So for example, make America great again, right? You're using this thing. Who knows what it means? We're not sure. Obama,
what is he gonna do to make America?
Yeah. Hope, action, change, right? Like, doesn't say anything specific. Doesn't tell you anything. It just simply makes it sound like
that was his first.
Yeah,
thing.
first
the
election.
forward was the second.
Yeah.
His second term.
Anyway, so that's just glittering generalities. You just kind of say things without giving specific details about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds great.
All right, then we got card stacking, okay? And card stacking is when only tell
I've
part
seen
of
this
the thing,
before.
yes. Where they basically say something like, oh, guess what? This has 40% the less fat, but what they don't tell you is that it's also 40% less fries, or it's, has way more sodium. So they basically only tell you one side of the story, right? I forget, this Verizon ad.
I've seen this so much,
right,
but AT&T came out with it first, and then Verizon, this is their comeback.
Yeah, but they only show specific details. So, this only applies to 3G, or this only applies to 4G, or AT&T still works in these places, it just doesn't work, and blah, 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 blah. So that's the idea of card stacking. You're kind of just giving your information and making it look better, making yourself look great, right? Hiding the truth.
So that'd be like, on this diet I lost 30 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not saying if you were 500 pounds.
Yeah. Or if let's say this didn't happen, but say Trump was like, hey, Obama, why Biden was vice president, Obama unemployment went up by 10%. But then he doesn't say that underneath his presidency went up 20% or something like that, right?
Makes sense.
Not that none of that happened. That was all fake facts. Don't listen to me.
Fake news.
So, for example, here, what kind of techniques can you see?
Hope. So it's the one with the word, the influential
glittering
word.
Generalities.
Right?
Just
glittering.
Hope.
Wait, not the forward one? You said there was the hope is stale.
Which one are you talking about?
No. Up. This one, loaded language.
Okay, yeah, you could say it's loaded language. Yeah, you got the hope, right? This idea that it's doing that. Yeah, good. And then you got
But is it both right?
Yeah, you can say
so you
both,
can have
as long
two.
as you have the argument for it. Yeah. Yeah, because there's multiple people usually use multiple or lots in different political ads. Once again, trying to persuade you using these persuasion techniques.
Ooh,
So that brings it up to Mrs. Magera's
so tired.
tea.
It's coffee. I've been drinking so much coffee lately, which I never really drink coffee regularly, and now I have been because my child is just so cute. But boy, it's a lot of energy. Anyway, this is a pumpkin spice latte mix thing. Anyway, are you ready for this?
I'm ready for the
persuasion
tea.
technique? I feel very good because I picked a persuasion technique that you didn't say.
Okay.
It's called fear and then relief. Do you know what it is? It's called the fear and then relief tactic.
No, you scare them and then you say, oh, it's okay.
Yes, basically that's what it is. But apparently it's scientifically proven through studies that if you scare someone and then you give them relief, they're more likely to do what you want. It's a really weird. Say you want someone to do overtime in their job. If you make them feel like they're going to lose their job, but then you're like, oh no, you're not, and then you ask them to stay afterwards, they're more likely to be like, oh yes, because they just thought they were going to lose their job, and then they're like, oh thank goodness, they're so thankful that, oh yeah, they would totally do that for you. So for an example, which on the real, super shady, like very, very shady.
Won't do that, yeah.
Yeah, like that's so like mean to like it's a manipulation tactic also. But they did this study where they were in a mall and they had this guy who wasn't actually blind, but he like dressed up like he was blind, and he came up and put the hand like on a total stranger, that he like grabbed their shoulder, and they were scared, and then they turn around and they see he's blind, and then they have relief, and then they asked he asked, would you sign this charitable, like if you sign this thing for this charity cause. But then they had the guy, and not like he was the blind guy, but he didn't grab their shoulder, that he like did it a bunch, and the people that were grabbed and then asked were more likely to do the thing than the people that were not grabbed. Does that make sense?
Interesting, that does make sense.
So because they were scared and then relieved, they were like, oh yeah, of course I'll help you. Whereas the other ones, when they were just asked, they were like, no. And they just kept going. This tactic is also used in like good cop. Have you ever heard good cop, bad cop? So the bad cop comes up and then it like gets me and you, and then the good cop comes around like, hey, I'm your friend. Like they're more likely to tell the good cop what happened rather than the bad cop.
Yeah, good.
All shady things. Don't manipulate. Be straight through. Good vibes only. Don't manipulate people. Motto of the day.
There's our persuasion techniques. Bye, guys.